Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. It's been about 24 hours since I've actually been even motivated to get this camera on because I've been quite sick for the past 24 hours, had a bit of a fever, stomach problems, you don't really want to know the rest, trust me, but it is Champions League quarter-final, FA Cup semi-final week, which means if there was no GBFC videos, then well, you guys would be missing out on all the information, all the details, all the hype. So I've managed to get some energy together to record my Porto preview for you guys today. Throat is feeling a little bit sore as well, so hopefully we can get through the end of this video without me passing out and falling into the jungle which is surrounding me right now. I'm going to show you guys a couple of little clips. We get into anything though, I want to send you guys over in the direction of the description where you'll find the link to GBFC Selects, where there's another £1,000 up for grabs that you guys can win for answering 10 simple questions about Porto versus Chelsea. Obviously you've got to be 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly. The link is down below. Porto Champions League. I'm not going to lie, the first leg I was incredibly nervous. The second leg I am excited but even more nervous than I was before, because the first leg went very well. We got ourselves 2 away goals, we lead 2-0 in the tie, and virtually the whole world, including myself up until the point of recording this video, is saying that the job is done. Chelsea are through to the semi-finals, they beat Porto easily, convincingly, and now in the second leg, there's absolutely no doubt that Chelsea will be there come the semi-final draw, which will be against Real Madrid or Liverpool. Now that I'm making this preview, I'm worried about it, you know? I don't know if it's just, as much as I am the optimist, you guys know that I'm always very optimistic when it comes to Chelsea's chances of winning games, of getting through, of winning the Champions League, which I've said from word go at the beginning of this season, but the nerves are now starting to really creep in. But I don't think that is going to be the case amongst our playing personnel and the manager who got to a Champions League final last season with Paris Saint-Germain. So for that reason, I'm taking the confidence that I know the players are going to have after another phenomenal performance at Selhurst Park on Saturday evening, and that result last week in the first leg in Seville in the away tie against Porto. We're going to take all of that confidence that everybody has and we're going to put it into this match preview by building a starting 11 that can certainly go out and get the job done. If we look at the Champions League knockout football like it is a footballing 90 minutes game of 2 halves, then Chelsea have a 2-0 lead at half-time. That is the way we need to be approaching this game. So the emphasis is obviously going to be on being very solid defensively, not wanting to give away any goals so that we can consolidate what is a 2-goal lead. But at the same time, a 2-0 lead is not job done and dusted in football. A 2-0 lead is something that Porto go 2-0 up and we score 1, they score 1 more, and then 3-1 to Porto, which is, you know, it's a little bit out there, but if Porto go 3-1 up in this tie, then they go through on away goals. So as much as the onus must be on Chelsea defending that lead so that we don't concede any goals, which would see us through, we've also got to make sure that we don't neglect going forward, which is where we looked very dangerous both at Crystal Palace and also in that first leg against Porto when we won 2-0. So without any further ado, we're going to start by building my starting 11. And we start off with the Mr. Golden Glove in the Champions League. Edouard Mendy has kept more clean sheets than absolutely anybody in the competition so far this season. No brainer. I say it every single time. No brainer is the words that I use when it comes to picking my goalkeeper. Mendy, at this point, has kept 3 knockout clean sheets in a row. So all of the omens are in Chelsea's favour for this game. All of the previous statistical pieces that we can look upon as to why Chelsea won't concede 2 or more goals and get knocked out by Porto after this game, everything bodes well in Chelsea's favour. Mr. Mendy has not conceded a goal in knockout football yet this year, and he's also the highest clean sheet, I was going to say highest scorer, which he definitely isn't. He's got the most clean sheets in the Champions League this season. So Mr. Mendy begins in goal, and then we move into a centre-back 3 of Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, and Tony Rudiger. So obviously the biggest question for this one was whether or not Christensen was going to be back fit after he missed the game at the weekend against Crystal Palace. And I've not yet seen Tuchel's press conference, which is always a bit frustrating. I know that you guys want me to do my match previews once I've actually seen the press conferences, which is something I often don't do because I have to record these videos to get them out on time for you lot, and I'm 8 hours ahead in Bali, so it makes life a little bit more difficult. But even if Christensen has recovered, I still think Thiago Silva is going to feature in this game. I think his experience and know-how of seeing out this kind of match is exactly what Chelsea are going to need. Him alongside Azpilicueta and the brilliant form of Tony Rudiger in recent weeks, I think is a perfect back three for Chelsea to go out there and keep a clean sheet and actually go through to the Champions League semi-final. The fact I'm even saying that is getting me bloody excited. I'm not going to lie to you. It's definitely possible. We're going to do this. I believe it. So that back three is what we're going to go for. Zouma, after he scored that goal against Crystal Palace in the week, there is still definitely a call that Zouma could carry on in centre-back for this one. But I think the fact that Thiago Silva didn't feature against Crystal Palace because of that suspension, his fitness is going to be up, he's going to be ready for this game, and I think it is the perfect game for him to come back into the side and see Chelsea home and dry into the semi-finals of the Champions League. We move into the two wing-back positions, and again, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Callum Hudson-Odoi started the game on Saturday against Crystal Palace. Reece James came on, got himself an assist for Christian Pulisic's second goal, and I think that Reece James will start this match again in the right wing-back position. And if I bring it back to what I said earlier about Chelsea striking that balance between being defensively solid and also offensively potent, I think Reece James offers that perfect balance. I think Callum Hudson-Odoi looked brilliant in that first half against Crystal Palace. At times, I thought he was the best player on the pitch and he looked the most likely to create opportunities for Chelsea in the final third. However, I think we've got to keep an eye on these Porto players. They've got players coming back from injury, players coming back from suspension, and I think it's very important that Chelsea go with Reece James in this position, particularly with Ben Chilwell over on the wing-back role on the left-hand side. We'll go into him in a moment. But I think Reece James is important in this game for Chelsea because I think Chelsea need to be defensively solid. I think we're going to need some strength, and just that Callum Hudson-Odoi is still getting used to that right wing-back position. And I think it could be too risky to deploy him in that role in a Champions League quarter-final where absolutely everything is at stake for Chelsea Football Club. So Reece is on the right. Ben Chilwell, who's a man in gigantic form right now. He scored the second goal, which makes this tie a lot more comfortable than it could have been right now for Chelsea to make it 2-0. And he looks really, really good. He could have scored a couple of goals again against Palace at the weekend. When you watch back the highlights, you see that there were so many Chelsea opportunities where we really should have done better in front of goal. Chilwell had a couple of those himself, and I think that he's shown in the last two games in particular that when he's given the time and the space in this new role that he's being asked to do, which is the wing-back role, he's got that ability. He's got that brilliant defensive work rate. He's very good going forward as well. And I think he's keeping Alonso back out of the team. It's difficult because the Tuchel rotation makes it very hard to know what he's going to pick game by game, because one minute someone does well, and then the next minute someone comes in after like half a bad performance and then they lose their place and someone comes in and takes their place. So Chilwell, based off of form, is straight into this team. We move into the two central midfielders, and I've gone with the double K partnership. We've got N'Golo Kante, who's back fit, and Mateo Kovacic. There's absolutely nothing here against Jorginho, who I thought was absolutely brilliant in the hour of football that he played at Selhurst Park on Saturday. One of the best performances I've seen from him in a Chelsea shirt, and that is minus scoring a penalty. So that says a lot about what I thought about Jorginho's display on Saturday evening against Crystal Palace. But N'Golo Kante's energy, I think it's going to be absolutely key. With Oliveira coming back for Porto for this game, he has that bundle of energy. He's brilliant going forward, he scores goals, he gets assists, and I think we're going to need someone with that tactical guile of N'Golo Kante to be in the right place at the right time to win the ball off of players that are trying to conduct the play for Porto. Kante is that man to do that job. Mateo Kovacic, I think, is one of the best in-form midfielders in European football right now. I would literally say that he is that high up in where I consider him to be in football in midfielder terms right now. So for that very reason, I cannot see him losing his place for this game. I think the double K partnership could be key for Chelsea to win that midfield battle and make sure we get this job done. We move into a front three, And this has been the biggest question on the lips of all Chelsea fans this week after that scintillating first half against Crystal Palace. A lot of people are calling for the Havertz-Mount-Pulisic partnership to continue. And in this preview today, I am delighted to say that I thoroughly agree with each and every one of you that have made that call. From the pit of my soul, I've gone for those three in the attacking third for Chelsea. I think it was so good at times against Crystal Palace the other night that I can 100% see this one working again. Porto are going to need to attack Chelsea. They're going to have to come and try and score, because if they don't, they're saying goodbye to Champions League football, and that semi-final dream is well and truly dead and buried for them. So, with that being said, Porto coming to attack, you look at that Pulisic, Mount and Havertz attack, and you've got so much energy in there. You combine that with Kante, Kovacic's ball progression, and I think Chelsea could become an absolute force on the counter-attack against Porto. And I think that way, the game would be a lot more open. And as a result of that, I think Chelsea will get a lot of chances. And after seeing how clinical we were with those three players in the attack in the final third against Palace, I think we might see the same thing again. So that is going to wrap up my starting 11. The subs bench is absolutely full of quality. And if the game is going away from Chelsea, which, touch wood, there's a wooden table right next to me, I bloody hope it doesn't, because we did such a good job to win the first leg 2-0, to be in this position, to be very confident that we can make it to the semi-finals. I've tried to keep this preview as balanced as possible because the job is not done. It is half-time in this tie. Porto are a good team, and we've got to see this over the line. But with this starting 11, I perfectly believe that Chelsea can not only see the game through, but we can go out and get yet another victory. If you haven't already seen it, I'm going to be posting my Champions League quarter-final second leg predictions over on GBFC 2. So if you have seen it, then you'll already know my score prediction. But I feel as though Chelsea are going to win this one. I think it's going to be the same scoreline. I think we're going to defend impeccably and win the second leg 2-0, going through 4-0 on aggregate. And then again, I will save it for GBFC 2 so that you know who I think we're going to be facing in the semi-final. Make sure you go check that video out. Link in the description. This is a massive, massive game. I apologise if I've seemed a little bit off energy-wise today. I've done my best to get this one out for you all. Still feeling a little bit rough, but I'm a lot better than I was. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that I see you after the game. There's going to be no watch-along. I think that's what killed me the other night. So 6 Things We Learned will be out straight after the Porto game. I hope you guys are excited as I am. I will catch you all there. Come on, you Blues.